We've had our Consort Nova campervan for 1 year. Did we buy the right van?
Welcome back to the channel. We are Carol and Ken and we like touring in our Consort Nova Motorhome called Snoopy. But do we miss Little Red?
If I knew then what I know now, I would have started with a Consort van.
I agree, we loved Little Red, but I certainly wouldn't want to go back to such a small little van now.
What do we like and dislike about Snoopy? And we're going to tell you all of this in this video. So grab a coffee and settle down. You probably can't see us in the sun, but we're currently parked up at Flamborough Head, which is in the East Riding of Yorkshire. My mum and dad took us on many caravan holidays, which is why 34 years ago we bought our first caravan rather than a camper.
We used to look at all the campervans and motorhomes on the caravan sites, and we used to think they were mad because we had a car to explore the local area, whereas they would have to go and get on a bus.
6 years ago we realised we were wrong and they were right. With a campervan it allows you to sleep almost anywhere, whereas with a caravan you're locked into extortionate campsites with all their normal restrictions that they impose on your arrival, departure and what you're allowed to do or not do. So 1 year has passed since we got our Consort and we have learned so much more since then. I wonder if it's occupied now. I don't think it is it?
Not at the moment, but it might be at other times of the year. The big question is, did we choose the right model? Well, we'll come back to that soon. Waves crashing down there.
Yeah, some really big
can't
waves.
Look over the edge though.
No, I'm not looking over the edge.
Don't look over the edge.
They do say making YouTube videos and walking around on cliffs are not very compatible.
You can see why here. Look, you could easily walk off the edge, and it's probably crumbling away.
Yeah, I wouldn't go up to the edge of this. Look,
No.
it's just clayey sand, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, that's as close as I want to get to this edge.
It's called the Flamborough Sea Watch Observatory, so I don't know what you can see from inside.
Nothing, because all the windows are shut. Journeys on the Wind, Flamborough Head storyboard.
It's closed.
It looks like it's locked to me.
Yeah, it's padlocked.
That's a shame, isn't it?
All closed.
Obviously open in the summer.
Yeah.
Right, let's get the negative stuff out of the way first, shall we?
I'll start. The first thing I'm not keen about is that Snoopy is a lot more noisy when you're driving along than Little Red was. And the reason is that we haven't nailed down yet all the things in the cupboards. I mean I don't nail down literally, but
maybe that's what we need to do.
To find out what's making all the noise. And because we've got more space in the cupboards and not so much stuff in them, they do tend to rattle around a bit, and especially in the fridge when the fridge isn't packed full. Whereas when we were in Little Red, we didn't have so much space, so everything was crammed in the cupboards and nothing had room to move.
I agree. It's much noisier than Little Red. The suspension, of course, is much harder in the Fiat Ducato. And obviously the state of our roads are just atrocious, so sometimes it can get really noisy. But if you've got any tips on what you do and how you track down the faults, then I'm all ears. So I bet you didn't think you were going to see them today.
No, I've never seen so many seals in the UK all together like that before, have you?
I thought it was, I thought we were too late for their breeding season. I thought it ended in December, but there's plenty of young ones down there, isn't there?
There are, yeah. Lovely.
I suppose the other thing we've got to tell them is that you don't like driving the van, do you?
No, not really. I'm quite comfortable driving it on the motorway or big A roads, but not so keen on the smaller roads and the narrow country lanes. And I never really mastered the art of parking it.
You certainly tried a lot, haven't you? You've tried and tried and tried.
Yeah.
It's a bit of wind, isn't it?
It is. When you're out the sun, it's very cold.
Oh, even in the blooming sun, I don't think it makes a lot of difference.
It's getting later in the day now, though.
So do you think having an auto would make any difference to your comfort driving it?
No, not really. I'm quite used to the manual gearbox now. And the difficult things I find are the handbrake being on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And it's the width of the vehicle that's more of a problem, isn't it?
I think it's the width. It's judging the gap between things, oncoming vehicles, all of that is far more of a challenge in this. We're going to try a Brit stop tonight. With a little bit of luck, we'll be able to get somewhere to sleep and a nice meal.
Well, we haven't had any lunch after we just had some breakfast baps, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we're getting quite hungry now.
Shop's not open this time of year. Got a restaurant here, but that doesn't look to be, I don't know.
No, it's not open today.
No. It's shut, isn't it? All the tables, all the chairs are on the tables.
Yeah.
Right, next on the list is the Truma diesel heating.
Yeah, well, when it's working, it's brilliant, isn't it? Because it keeps the van toasty warm, nice constant temperature, it's thermostatically controlled.
Lashings of hot water.
You can have it on a timer so the van can be warm when you come back from a walk.
And its biggest plus, of course, is it runs on diesel, which we can get absolutely anywhere. And it helps save gas, of course, because we only use our gas for cooking.
Yeah.
But the downside is we're on our third Truma boiler, aren't we?
We are. We had problems when we first picked up the van. If you'll remember from watching our previous videos last year, and Consort were very quick to replace it.
Yeah.
We had a brand new one.
And then that one failed and blow me down. We took the van back for the habitation, and Consort have got all the diagnostic equipment that they use to test it, and they found that there was a fault on the hot water, that it wasn't heating hot water on its hottest setting.
Which we hadn't even realised.
We didn't even know.
No, but they pointed it out to us and put in a brand new heater boiler for us.
So that's a Truma problem. So Truma, if you're listening, you've really got to get this sorted out, because it would be a wonderful system if it fully worked.
If it was a bit more reliable.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to the good stuff. The first good point is we can actually stand up in this van.
Yay, yes.
No more being hunched over doing the washing up.
Yeah, so in all weathers you can stand up, not just in fine weather.
Yeah. The upgrade in comfort of the living accommodation has been absolutely amazing. And that's why I say that had I known then what I know now, I would certainly have said let's go for a Consort van right from the start.
And definitely our favourite layout is this U-shaped lounge at the back.
Absolutely wonderful.
And it's versatile as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Well, what were you going to say?
Well, you can sit both ways. So if you've got a view out the back window, you can actually sit with your head there with cushions and look at the view out the back. Or you can sit down the sides this way we're facing and look out the side windows. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you can stretch your legs out fully if you sit looking out the back windows, can't you? Because you can diagonally put your legs onto the seat in the middle.
Or you could just make up the bed and have it as a day bed.
Yeah.
And sit with your legs stretched out.
Yeah. When we were at the habitation service, we had a look at the new vans that Consort have produced. They produce vans now with very, very comfortable fixed beds.
Fixed bed
don't
with
they?
a really deep mattress.
A really deep mattress.
Very
Boy,
comfortable.
would they be comfortable to sleep in.
Yeah.
But having said that, I would still choose this layout personally.
Yeah, for relaxing during the daytime.
Yeah.
We much prefer sitting here than in the driving seats.
Yeah, we don't actually make that much use of the driving seats, do we?
No.
It's more of a perch whilst you're getting dressed and stuff like that.
Putting your shoes on, or if one of you wants to make a FaceTime call.
Oh yeah,
or
you're
do
up there then,
something
don't
to be
you?
separate.
Yeah.
It's handy to have the.
Yeah.
It's like another room, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. A really big plus in this experience has been Consort Motorhomes as a dealer. Well, not a dealer, they're the builder, aren't they?
They actually build the vans, and sell them.
Yeah.
And service them.
Yeah. Well, not they habitation check, not.
Yeah.
They don't service the engines or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, that's a matter for whoever manufactured the vehicle. Yeah, dealing with a builder is far better than dealing with dealers. Now, Little Red we were dealing with the dealer. The builder. But all of our caravans we were dealing with dealers. So we've got a lot of experience of dealing with dealers and being stuck in the middle with an argument over who's at fault. Was it the dealership or the manufacturer? You remember all our trials and tribulations with Bailey Unicorn caravans,
and then whether we have to deal with Bailey direct or go through the dealer that we got the van.
It was an absolute nightmare, and that was a problem where axles were collapsing on the van. So dealing with a builder is brilliant because, of course, if anything needs repairing or replacing, it's there. The parts are there, and of course they've looked after us really, really well, haven't they?
Yeah, been very good.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I would say Consort's after-sales care is the best we've ever experienced.
Yeah, for any vehicle.
The fact that, no lengthy appointments needed. If you've got a problem, drop in and they will help you to get it sorted very quickly.
Yeah, or they'll answer your query by email if they can fix it. An obvious big improvement on this van is having the onboard toilet and shower.
Well, we use it more like we used to use Little Red, don't we? We don't shower every day or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because we like to wild camp, so we're conscious still about using water.
Yeah, and in fact we've just discovered fresh wipes, which we use.
Oh yeah.
So we're saving even more water now.
I know that sounds
body
weird.
Wipe every day.
We've got a 100-litre water tank on here, but what we like to do is wild camp and stay away from sites as long as possible.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, by doing that, you're saving. Well, how much did it cost us to? How much did it cost us to stay at York?
£44 a night.
£44 a night by doing that. Yeah. So it soon adds up, and that's of course £44 that you could spend out in restaurants and
eating
stuff,
out and
enjoying
going
yourself.
To attractions and things. So we tend to only shower now if we know we're going to be going somewhere where we can fill up with water. So if we were going to a caravan site, they'd probably have a shower anyway, which we could use.
Yeah.
But in France,
it's nicer to use your own shower, though.
It's nicer to use your own
shower,
shower, and it worked quite well when we were in Brittany, and because if we knew we were going to be on an air that had free water, we would fill up there, have a shower, and then fill up again before we went.
So we admit we were wrong because we were used to be people who had said you don't need a toilet or shower in a van. We used to preach that.
Yeah.
Until, of course, I went and got food poisoning on a France trip. We won't go into the gory details, but that was absolutely awful. There's a video on it.
Yeah.
And that is what set us on to this track to get a new van.
There's no way we could have continued the trip.
No,
Whereas
exactly.
if we'd have had a shower on board and the toilet on board.
Yeah.
Probably could have.
And who's that chap that recommended Consort?
Chris Wilcox.
Chris Wilcox. Thank you very much, Chris, if you're watching this.
Yeah.
But when we were looking, we didn't know about Consort, and Chris popped up in the comments and suggested we take a look.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the minute we just looked at their website, we thought,
that
this
impressed
is
us.
Exactly what we're looking for.
No nonsense on their website.
Yeah.
Just, it's all laid out nicely. All the extras that you can add for the van are all listed and priced, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're going to get without even going there.
Yeah.
And of course, I urge you, if you're interested in the Consort, to go and see them, because that's the only way you can judge the quality of the build.
Yeah.
And second we walked into one, we were sold, really, weren't we?
Yeah. It was as good in the flesh as we thought it would be from the website.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And their experience of wild camping absolutely shines through.
Another thing I really like about being in Snoopy is you can both be doing things at the same time. In Little Red, only one of you could get up at a time. Or if I was cooking, you had to just sit there and you couldn't move.
And the reality in Little Red is I tended to sit at the front, didn't I?
Yes.
Because I couldn't actually sit in the back comfortably with my back.
Yeah.
So you tended to end up sitting in the back all the time, didn't you? Because you didn't mind it.
No, it was fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in Snoopy, there's more space to move around.
Yeah.
So one of you can be moving around in this area while the other one's doing the cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously, if one of you is using the toilet, the other one can still be doing something.
Yeah, no, that's a big improvement.
Yeah, and we can actually just pass each other in the narrow bit there. You can get past each other as well.
That's cuddle time, that is.
Yeah.
The other thing we like about the van is we went for the lithium battery, the extra solar panels, and also the Jackery power bank, which I've got in the boot, which can also give us mains power in here.
And that has its own little solar panel as well to charge it up.
Yeah, so that just keeps charging all the time. And we've just gone for a 50 amp B2B. We're giving that a test to see if that's going to give us even more power. And what you've got to bear in mind is that we're pretty heavy power users, aren't we? We're constantly charging cameras, powering laptops for editing, and it gobbles it up. And what we found is in the winter, if you're only travelling small distances between venues, then we weren't quite getting enough.
Yeah.
With the standard B2B.
No, and even if the sun's shining at this year, it's
it
at such
struggles.
a low angle that you don't get much solar power.
Yeah, you've only got to have that van tilted slightly away from the sun, and you would get nothing at all in the winter.
And in the winter months, we're having the lights on more.
Yeah.
And we're probably sitting and watching the telly a bit more.
The heating's on all the time.
So
Yeah.
it uses a lot more power.
Yeah, but I think we are heavy users, so I'm not saying
charging,
I'm not recommending the 50 amp B2B to anybody.
We probably wouldn't need it.
I don't think you would necessarily need it. And obviously, if you're using campsites, you don't need it at all.
No, if you're on hookup.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we had as an optional extra was the inverter.
Oh yeah.
Which we wish we'd had done
when
we ordered the van from the start. But
do yourself a favour, if you've got any hint at all that you might want to use electricity to cook or just boil a kettle, have it fitted when you order the van if you can, because it's a lot less hassle for them, and it will cost you more having it retrofitted, won't it?
And that's a great advantage in the summer months. You won't need to use any gas at all, because we can use the electric kettle all day long. And we cook in a little electric cook pot as well, which is great. And in the summer, when you're getting the solar energy, it replenishes the battery.
Personally, I wouldn't want to be all electric.
Oh no, because in the winter
Even if
it'd be
you've got
hard.
massive batteries, you know, the challenge is charging the
them up
batteries. It's not how big your tank is, it's how quickly can you refill it that really matters in the real world.
Yeah.
So I personally, I wouldn't want to be cooking electric, because I think that would give me a bit like range anxiety
Yes.
in an electric
Yeah.
car.
So in summary, we've had 12 months use of the van and we're very happy with it.
Yeah, how much have we done?
We've been on 7 trips.
Yeah.
We've done 131 nights, and the majority of those have been wild camping.
Yeah. Loads and loads and loads of days out, haven't we?
And loads of days out where we've just been out for the day and not slept in the van.
That's the other beauty of a van over a caravan, because you can use it for days out. You can use it as a spare bedroom, excuse me, on the drive. If you're visiting friends, relations that are not able to put you up, you know, you just can't really do that with a caravan. So we've really got a lot of use out of it, haven't we?
Yeah. And we've just ticked over 8,000 miles in our first year. So we hope to do a lot more in the second year.
Absolutely. So now, the big question. Did we pick the right model of van? If you cast your mind back, those who've been watching the channel for quite some time, is we asked for advice when we were trying to decide between the 5.4 metre Nova, this van, or the 6 metre Reef. And you all urged us, or at least the vast majority of you urged us, to get the 6 metre van, didn't they?
Yeah.
So what's your view?
So my view is that I'm quite happy with the little Nova, because I know it'll fit in any parking space.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. And I don't mind the smaller lounge area. It's nice and cosy, perfectly adequate for sitting, stretching out legs, and we can sleep across, no problem at all. And it doesn't bother us getting up in the night.
No, it doesn't.
So it
So
works.
you're happy.
So I'm happy, but
I would definitely go for the 6 metre van next time. All of those people were right, and I do wish I'd taken their advice. Main reason for me is the little bit extra doesn't matter when you're driving. It will matter when you come to park. There've been a handful of places where we have parked this where I've thought to myself, we wouldn't have got the 6 metre in.
Yeah.
A handful.
Yeah. But it's like with the height barriers with Little Red, we were worried, weren't we?
We
and
were.
There's been a handful of those that we haven't been able to get under.
To be honest with you, the height barriers have been insignificant.
Yeah.
Again, it was something that I became a little bit obsessed with, really, when I was
you just
in
have
Little
to
Red.
find an alternative place to park if there's a height barrier.
Yeah.
And it would be the same if we had a 6 metre van. I suppose you'd just have to find somewhere else.
Obviously, going that little bit bigger gives you more space in the shower and toilet. That's not the issue for me. We cope fine in there with that fixed sink. Not a problem at all. But you would have more space because the sink folds up in the 6 metre. The big benefit is boot space. I used to think the boot in this was absolutely massive, but of course I was coming from Little Red where it was tiny, and I wish we had a bigger boot. So in the 6 metre van there's a lot more room in the back, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bigger boot, and then plus you'd get more on this bench side, you'd get a bigger space for your bedding, and a bit more other storage as well. And the overhead lockers would be bigger as well.
There's more places to put stuff, and of course you could have a complete kip, couldn't you?
Without making up the bed,
without
you could just
inconveniencing anybody else. And if, when the time comes, at the moment we don't get up at night, do we, to go to the loo?
No.
But when that time comes, of course, that would completely solve that. Because you could have it as 2 single beds.
So
we just have to cuddle in the morning.
Something to think about
something
For
to
the
think
future.
about for the future.
Yes.
But at the moment, we've had the hab check. We've had it's an oil change. I know everybody thinks from that previous video that we had it serviced, but we don't. We do know that it's a service every 2 years. It was just an interim oil change.
And you just wanted to change the oil every year.
I did, yeah. I think
Even though
it's,
you don't have to.
no, it's
Yeah.
good for the engine.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to say?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we've got to say after 1 year in the van. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share us with your friends. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you soon. Give away all of our fish.
Here's your fish, Charlie Brown.
That is a very normal.
That looks the business, doesn't it?